I stood across this room over in that corner less than 48 hours ago with the backdrop of our beautiful harbor behind me. And in spite of its beauty, I think that it would look much better with the night lights of an overwintering oil rig drill. I spoke for over an hour with my opponent answering questions from the Port Angeles Yacht Club related to the two marinas. You know, though I knew it before, there's a lot of work to be done, and I am anxious to get to work. I see the mission of the port as being twofold. That is to wisely manage the public lands under its purview and to create job opportunities. Those two things need to be accomplished carefully and thoughtfully. And while I see the issues of the port being creating job opportunities, harbor cleanup, community engagement, and a balanced budget, the areas I see needing the most attention immediately are leadership, communication, and marketing. It is the Port Commission who is responsible for the actions of the port. Middle management does not answer to the taxpayers. We need a Port Commission that has proactive leadership. We need a Port Commissioner that does not give up its authority in delegating decisions. I want to see a Port Commission that more closely works with the public, the stakeholders, and the public and staff. It's obvious to me that even with the Open Public Meetings Act, there's still a lot of distrust going on, and I think that if we have more communication and better leadership, that we can have pride of ownership in the port, and we can accomplish that with better communication and leadership. We need to sit down with the tribe and talk about a boundary adjustment related to the graving yard. I knew when they first started calling it a graving yard, it was going to be a problem. But we need to get this issue settled to the satisfaction of both sides. And speaking of collaboration, we need to get the Lincoln Park trees dealt with. The port has recently approved a $650,000 expenditure to amend the master plan for the airport so that it can deal with the tree issue through the FAA. But there's still time to sit down again with the Port Angeles City Council and try to reach an agreement either on an easement or even a land purchase. This has gone on way too long. As a Charter Review Commissioner, I worked hard with several other conservative members to move to the county commissioners a recommendation to form a forestry council that would make a recommendation back to the county commissioners regarding reconveyance of our county trust lands. And as a port commissioner, I will work to make sure that the port has a very strong voice on timber issues. And I believe it really important that all the cities in the county government, the Peninsula College, the EDC, and the port really need to work together to market the assets of our county to the rest of the world. There are many business opportunities out there, many of them green, and we should encourage them to come to our area. One area that the port has been working on is composite manufacturing. And I give a very special hats off and a big thank you to Jim McEntire and to Bill Peach for seeing the importance of this project and to stand up to an overreaching treasurer and delivering the opportunity funds to the port in the amount of $1 million to help with the infrastructure construction of the 2220 building. There will be a groundbreaking ceremony tomorrow morning at 11, and although the Pope isn't going to be there, I know that the governor and Derek Kilmer will be.
And we got $285,000 at the city. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you again. I have a little demonstration sample of the non-toxic, non-hazardous product that will be developed in the building that is being built. and you're all welcome to see it, sniff it, lick it if you want, I don't care. But I am a strong advocate of this program, and I hope that the ensuing businesses will be one way for us to stop exporting our children when they graduate from high school. My 17 years in public school district offices working in the areas of community relations, personnel, financing, and administration. My working for public businesses and owning my own businesses and working for the federal government, my community work on the Clallam County Planning Commission as a 2015 Charter Review Commissioner, the Government Affairs Committee on the Port Angeles Business Association, and the Crescent Community Advisory Council. And my honesty, my integrity, my common sense, and my determination make me the best choice for the next Port Commissioner representing District 3. Your support and your vote are very important to me. Let's move our port and our county into a new and prosperous era by voting Connie for Port Commissioner, District 3. Thank you very much.
The people in this room. Next up, we have Brandon Janisse, and he's going to run for Sequim City Council. And Brandon.
Sound good, okay?
A little closer.
So, like Dick here said, I'm Brandon. This is the second time I've run for the Sequim City Council. I'm going to be running against Pamela, if anybody knows her, for position 1, which is Erickson's previous seat. So this would be my first time as any elected official, so year 1 would be a very interesting time for me learning the job and everything. But I think one thing that I know that I can do in year 1 is change the way that the city government currently operates. I think that the way that the city operates in terms of how it interacts with the people of the community really needs to change, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm running this term. I think that the city council, I've heard all the time, just doesn't care about any ideas, any criticisms that people give it. Speaking at the Rotary Club a few weeks ago, everybody from the county sheriff to local business owners got up and expressed their disdain for how they were treated by the city council and just how they ignore them constantly, time after time again. I think that it's not just listening to the people that come before them that needs to change. I think it needs to the understanding of what people want. When people say no to a new city hall, but yet the city moves against it for $15 million in debt, I think it's another understanding that the city is not giving the people what they want for it. The same goes for the Metropolitan Parks District. When all 6 Sequim precincts voted against it, they still are going to go ahead and do it because of their own personal interests. I think, again, they're just shoving everybody's ideas, concerns aside and doing what they really want to do. The biggest thing that I hope to accomplish again during my first year would be to foster relationships between all those that become disenfranchised with the city council itself. Working with Jim and Mr. Peach back there with the county, working with the port, working with NGOs, everywhere from Sequim family advocacies, to just anybody that has a stake in the city of Sequim, and most of all, the people of Sequim itself, who I believe are extremely disenfranchised with the current city council right now. So anybody that lives in Sequim, I hope you vote for me. I got information on the board, and tell your friends to vote for me. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Hello, and thank you for being here. I'm Susan Shotthafer, candidate for Port Angeles School Board. For 11 years as a substitute teacher in Sequim and Port Angeles districts, I worked K through 12 in every school and subject. I earned credentials to teach and taught English, Spanish, and English as a second language. I earned a BA in political science, a certificate in international relations, and a master's degree in education. I've gained perspectives unavailable to those without my background in 21 years of teaching experience. Ending her second term, Governor Gregoire lamented, "I came here determined to make the system work better, to invest more money. I put a lot more money into K through 12. But then you sit there and say, why have I not been able to get the result I set out to achieve?" End quote. In January 2013, after 45 years and $166 million, the U.S. Health and Human Services Department released its study concluding Head Start, quote, has no demonstrable impact on academic, socio-emotional, or health status at the end of first grade. An alternate definition of reality, of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Mountains of research overwhelmingly demonstrate the ineffectiveness of now trillions of dollars ineffectively, futilely spent to improve student outcomes. The beginning of effective remedies to increase student learning starts with the acceptance of reality. Cultural deficiencies, not funding deficiencies, impede students' achievement. I advocate increased expectations for an elevated school culture to improve student outcomes without increased spending. I envision a vocational program bringing representatives from a wide variety of trades into the classroom. Trade reps could provide overviews of their trades requirements, training programs, and vocational options for employment. Additionally, to encourage graduation, I will urge the school board to promote and seek many more vocational scholarships. Secondly, let's raise our expectations by requiring students to arrive at school with an appearance showing they know school is for self-improvement, to prepare for adulthood, and to learn. Our students need a consistently enforced district-wide dress code to improve focus and performance. Our manner of dress influences our behavior and judgments people make about us. Psychologists believe that our clothing choices affect our performance. Don't we have a responsibility for policies assisting students to become the best they can be? Thirdly, also, to raise expectations of students, we should restrict all entertainment media in classrooms to increase student focus. This excludes teacher-initiated instructional use. This should include cell phones, now somewhat controlled, entertainment games, and televised media entertainment. Students finishing assignments early in class should expect to study for tests, complete work for other classes, and keep a book handy to read. Don't we want the highest standards for our students? We can elevate the school culture to increase graduation rates and student employment potential with responsible adulthood, through highest expectations. If you want the right remedies for improved student focus, performance, and an enhanced academic environment, I ask for your vote. I'm Susan Shotthafer. Thank you.
I believe I have many friends in this room. I am pretty assured that I'm not going to have any trouble getting votes out of this crowd here, but I will not neglect to ask you for your vote and your support as the campaign continues on through November 3rd. The three things that I'm going to be spending all of my time talking about are leadership, support of the economy and jobs, and membership on the Board of Natural Resources, which I'll get into briefly. It's a very complicated subject, but I will tell you exactly why it's important to the county. Leadership, first of all, is about not only values, but principles, which lead to results. Leadership is not a process. Leadership is about persuading people to your point of view, being able to count to two, and my good friend and colleague Bill Peach back there is number one sometimes, and I'm number two, and sometimes I'm number one and he's number two in terms of the number of votes you need to accomplish anything in the Board of County Commissioners. All I've got to do is be able to count to two. Three would be lovely, but two is sufficient. But leadership is about getting to two. Leadership is about accomplishing results in a common sense, cost-effective way for the taxpayers. The second thing, and this has been my theme for all of my 8 years so far in elective office, first as a port commissioner and second as a county commissioner, is to find ways to get behind Clallam County's economy and push just as hard as we can. We all know the needs of the economy. It's getting better, but there are clouds on the horizon, or clouds that have come over the horizon, as we all know, with the mill closures in Port Angeles and on the west end of late. So all is not rosy, but things are improving. And so my job is to continue to find ways to improve the economy in ways such as cooperating with the Port of Port Angeles, as you've heard, cooperating with the City of Port Angeles, cooperating with the City of Sequim on the wastewater treatment facility in Carlsberg that's going to be connected to the Sequim system. Those are great examples of governments working together, and we need to continue that and improve on that tradition. Last, the Board of Natural Resources is something that folks don't know an awful lot about. It's a policy board that has 6 members in Olympia. It meets in Olympia once a month. I was elected by the 21 counties that have what are known as forest board lands, which are managed in trusts for counties and junior taxing districts. The trees that are harvested off those lands provide revenue not only to county governments, but to fire districts, school districts, port districts, so on and so forth. Anybody that has a property tax levy gets a proportionate share of the timber harvest revenue. That's terribly important. By way of example, about 10 years ago, the county government was getting $2 million a year for general government and about $2 million a year for additional for roads. Nowadays, we get about $600,000 for general government and somewhere in that neighborhood for roads. So if you don't cut trees, you don't make money. My job on that board is to find 3 additional votes. I got to count all the way up to 4 to find ways to accomplish additional harvest, which then will provide revenues for county government, and most important, put people back to work in the woods. That's a very important part of our county's economy, and that's the reason I ran for election and fortunately got elected to that board. So thank you for this time. Thank you for being here. Looks like we got indoors just as the rain started, which is excellent timing. Love to have your vote, love to have your support. Appreciate Jindy and everyone who put the meeting on. Thank you.
Payne, where's Will? Running for Sequim School Board.
Thank you. Thank you. So I want to thank Jindy for putting this on too. Do I need to sign a waiver like I did with the League of Women Voters about this recording thing? Do not do anything, don't record, don't object, don't whatever. So I'm glad to be here. I know most of you, of course, from last year running as a prosecutor, and you know, I don't think I really got a chance to thank everybody, and I do want to thank you for those of you that supported me and even those that didn't, to just make it an interesting race. And I really appreciate the support from the party, and it was fun and I enjoyed doing it, so I thought I'd try it again. Here we go. Who all here lives in Sequim? Few? Okay. So I can't do near as good as Susan did. She already knocked it out of the park. I'm gonna have to get her notes and try to follow up behind her on that. But there's some things in Sequim that are facing us that I think we need some new vision on. And one of them, of course, is the bond, and another one is the graduation rates and the abilities to improve that and offer some maybe alternative methods of going to school. And then a lot of people, well, I'm not sure how you're going to fall on this. There's actually 2 more things. One is the Common Core, and I can tell you that I'm opposed to it. Now, well, hold on. I mean, you know, and I can tell you why. I don't want to do a blanket opposite to that. And actually, I had a big discussion with the outgoing superintendent who bailed after the bond didn't pass last time about that. And I didn't really have an opinion about it until I went to a meeting that was put together by middle school instructors, high school instructors, especially in math. They're teaching a program called Excelsior Math. And we learned at that meeting, I think my kids were in the 6th grade, then 7th grade, that the kind of math that they were learning through the Common Core and the Excelsior, I forgot I'm on a time clock, aren't I? Okay, so would not help them in college. We learned that by parents who have talked to me about, now that I'm running for this, who have sent emails to colleges where they expect their kids to go to say, what do you think about this Excelsior Math program? Have you ever heard of it? You like it or what? And they said, well, be prepared when you come to college to relearn the way we all in this room probably learned math. So it's not working. It's not going to work. So that's just one element. I don't want to get really detailed. I'm not throwing a whole noose around Common Core and all that, although I think it needs some help. Sir? What? Was that a question or?
No, I was going to say, excuse me.
Oh.
I was going to say our grandkids told us it doesn't matter if you get the answer right as long as you show that you tried to get it right.
Well, maybe so. I don't know. I can tell you that I'm up every single day with my kids and my wife, sometimes until midnight. Now they're in the 9th grade, working on their homework. They're both got 4.0, but still, it's tough. You know, it's tough. Hold on, I'll get to that in a second.
More questions, please?
Yeah, hold on, we'll get some. So those are the things that I want to focus on when I get elected to the board with your help. And I am asking for your vote. I'm not asking for your support. I'm financing this campaign on my own. I don't have any signs and stuff yet because I'm waiting to do what we used to call in the Marine Corps sort of an oblique attack. I'm going to come in about next week and just blanket the city and they won't know what's going on. I'm running against a lady who's a veterinarian. I don't want her to talk about he, she, this and that. I just think I've got the skills that she needs. That you need to be the school board. I was a prosecuting attorney, and a lot of people think that you look at that job and say, well, he's harsh, we'll put people in jail, put people in prison, this and that. Well, that's fine. I think that just gives you a narrow focus. Now I'm a family law attorney. What I see by being a family law attorney, and I've done that for many years in my career, as well as being attorney general and doing dependency work, is I see directly how the schools impact families through parenting plans, divorces, dependency actions, work with CPS and things like that. So I think I have a unique position. She has kids in school, I have kids in school, so we both check that block. But I think I have a better unique position. And I know many people in the Sequim community and in Clallam County. I know I can interface with the business community, the legal profession, the medical profession where my wife works, to try to get the kind of support that we need in Sequim to make those schools better. And I'd ask for your vote. Thank you. Yeah, my little note here. Endorsements. I'm endorsed by, look on my website, Sue Ford's helping with my website, williampayne.org, same as it was last time, but it's for the school board. I'm endorsed by former county commissioner Mike Doherty, current county commissioner. Actually, I don't think I can say what they do. So I'll just say Jim McEntire, Bill Peach, Mike Chapman and his wife. I've got a broad base of support. I'd encourage you to take a look at my website and see the kind of support that I've got and the endorsements I have. And I'll let the rest of that. Thank you.
Very good.
Sean's running for, what are you running for, Sean? Fire district. Governor. Wow. You got my vote.
There you go.
Well, we have some serious problems, but I think we got some serious people to deal with it. I am running for fire commissioner for Fire District 3, and I think I just want to bring a common sense to the fire district. We spend a lot of money on things we really don't need. And I'm just going to use one example of this. We have a chief that's retiring at the end of this month. And about 6 or 8 months ago, they came to him and said, hey, you guys want a new car? And he said, no, I don't want one. You know, I'm retiring, I don't need one. Well, they bought it anyway. Now it sits at the training grounds and collects dust. We don't drive it, we don't use it, it's just an extra vehicle. And there's so many examples of that kind of stuff. So I think I just want to bring a common sense approach to the job. And when Jim mentions leadership, that was a really good point I really never thought about. Being a commissioner would be a leadership position, where I think the budget is a moral commitment to the people. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to bring a just common sense, spend our money wisely, and just run it and actually hire our kids and stuff from around here. So we keep our kids. I have kids in the school. They go to school with Will's kids, and I'd like to keep them. There are no opportunities for them when they get out of high school. So all these other people that are working for me too, I do appreciate all that. So I am asking for your vote. I'd ask that you ask your friends, anybody that lives in Fire District 3. We cover from Diamond Point to Deer Park. I would ask for your vote and ask for your friends to vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Is Cherie Kidd. Cherie is in the awkward position of not having an opponent, but you still got to vote for her. And I'll let her explain.
Good afternoon. I'm Cherie Kidd on the Port Angeles City Council. I'm running for, I'm up for re-election this year, and it's a nonpartisan position, and I want to thank you for being so gracious to invite me here today. I'm very honored to be here and to share this time with you. I have an empty chair here. I feel like Clint Eastwood with an empty chair. And the reason that I brought an empty chair up is because I have a unique circumstance in my election. My opponent sent emails recently in the last week or so to everyone saying that he quit. Well, when you sign up for an elected position, you have 10 days in which you may change your mind if you wish, and then you won't be on the ballot. But once you're on the ballot, you are a live legal candidate and a live legal vote. He has said he will not do any debates or public appearances. He's done, except if his friends do vote him in, he'll be happy to serve on the council. So I just want you to know that I'm working hard for the city of Port Angeles. I'm working hard for the people of Port Angeles, and I'm here to thank Bill Peach and Jim McEntire for what you're going to see is the new landscaping and the finishing touches to our new waterfront and our new beaches and our new park. They're going to be so beautiful for the people of Port Angeles. This changing the face of our waterfront forever, and I just really appreciate the commissioners going to bat for us and for our community. I have worked on that project for 7 years. It was an idea like, what can we do to upgrade our waterfront, and it's just been a process and a public process, and I'm so proud to see differences in Port Angeles. Port Angeles is a wonderful community. It's a community of people caring about each other, and it's a community that is growing in very positive ways. I'm very positive in Port Angeles. I'm Cherie Kidd. I'm running for re-election, and I do need your vote, because when they count the votes, that's the only way I'll be elected. Somebody saying he quit doesn't matter on the vote, on the ballot. It matters. Your vote matters, as it should, and I thank you so much.